Hey, I'm Creech, and this is Creech and Cars, where I talk about car news, history, and culture. Here in the US, Fiat has never been able to take off as a mainstream automaker, despite introducing its first models in North America over 100 years ago. But now, as we transition into the electric era, Fiat will begin offering an electrified version of its compact 500. So today, I'll be going over everything we know so far about the exterior and interior design of the Fiat 500e, as well as the mechanical and performance specs. Finally, I'll go over the pricing and release details and give my opinion on whether or not the 500e can revive the Fiat brand. First, I'll briefly cover how Fiat got to this point in the first place. Fiat first came over to the United States as a luxury brand way back in 1908, but pulled out after the beginning of the First World War. By the time Fiat came back in the 1950s, the brand's image had changed dramatically, and Fiat was now selling cutesy compact city commuters like the original 500 and 600, as well as the larger 1100. After around 20 years, Fiat's had developed the reputation of having poor build quality and reliability, and sales began to decline until Fiat made the decision to exit the North American market once again in the early 80s. That brings us to what you all probably remember with the reintroduction of the 500 in 2011. I remember seeing advertising for the 500 everywhere back then, and the model sold in decent numbers initially as a new cute subcompact city car, but it never really changed much over the years, and the reliability issues hadn't been fixed either, so sales have been steadily declining over the past several years. Now for the 2024 model year, we have the Fiat 500e, and as you can see, it still holds on to the classic Italian city car design that the model has had for virtually its entire existence. Taking a closer look at the front, there are a few significant changes. The fascia is mostly a continuous body panel with the 500 badge in the center, and the lower grille has been updated with a higher-end body color look. The headlight setup looks higher end as well, with the two LED circles on each side, and then the larger split semicircle serves as the main headlight assembly. One main body line dominates the side profile, and the door handle now has the cleaner underhand design as opposed to a proper grab handle. For now, it seems the two-door configuration will be the only offering, but I would assume larger versions are in the works for the future. The wheels have an interesting design and are black with chrome accents. This is another aspect that isn't anything crazy, but just makes the 500 look a little more expensive and higher quality than other subcompacts. The rear end design is similar to past 500 models with the sloping rear hatch and small taillights. Inside is where Fiat has attempted to greatly improve the build and material quality within reason for the price point. The overall design still feels like what we've been seeing from Fiat over the past decade, except now there is much more leatherette and other soft touch materials with less of the cheap plastics. The circular gauge cluster is fully digital, and the 10.3-inch infotainment screen uses Stellantis' Uconnect 5 system and does come with built-in navigation, although it will also offer wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. The 500e will have automatic braking and lane keep assist as available options as well. For a car like this, performance isn't really the primary concern, but the 500e will have one motor that provides the front wheels with 118 horsepower, and Fiat says it'll do 0 to 60 in an acceptable 8.5 seconds. There will be two battery packs to choose from, and the larger is only capable of about 149 miles per charge. It is a small car, so there's really not a whole lot of room to put a battery, and I think there's still a large market of people who would be fine with this amount of range. The 500 has always been a car designed for dense urban driving, and it's not uncommon for people in larger cities to drive less than 20 miles a day, and then even if 500e owners need to go on a longer road trip, they could still just rent a different car. There are also a few different drive modes that affect the range. Normal provides the best balance of performance and range, while range and Sherpa mode aim to conserve range at the cost of power output, with Sherpa being the most conservative driving mode. The 500e will soon be available in the United States for the 2024 model year, and the first version that will be released is the red edition, which is very red on the exterior with a red and black interior. This model starts at about $34,000, and I think the subsequent releases will be similar in price. That price does not take into account federal or local EV tax credits, which could effectively drop the price below $30,000. So with all of that information in mind, can the 500e successfully establish Fiat in America as a solid electric option? Well, unlike much of the rest of the world, bigger tends to be better with cars here, but there still is a huge market for the subcompact segment. Many people may be skeptical of the unimpressive range figure, but I really think the target market for this model wouldn't need more range for day-to-day driving, and I would assume Fiat has data that leads them to believe that as well. This price point is still just getting going with EVs, but the 500e will have a few key competitors. One is the Fisker Pair, which I covered a few videos ago, and the Pair offers a little more interior space and has a lower starting price, being closer to $30,000. Fiat could definitely still get out ahead of Fisker with its production capabilities being so much greater. The Nissan Leaf and Chevy Bolt both beat the 500e on pricing and space, but the Fiat is more fun and just stands out much more. Finally, I think the main competitor for Fiat now is going to be Mini Cooper with its electric models like the SE, and Fiat will have to deliver on the promise of higher build quality and more comfortable interiors to keep up with the competition going forward and make the 500e a high volume model. So there's everything we know so far about the all-new 2024 Fiat 500e. Let me know what you think about the 500e in the comments below, and don't forget to give the video a like to see more. If you enjoyed this video, check out the rest of the channel and subscribe so you don't miss future uploads. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.